Hey guys, so with Christmas right around the corner or whatever, that I decided that I was going to talk about the history of Christmas. Um, also maybe a little of what Christmas means to me, because there's a lot of interesting stuff about Christmas. So, without further ado. First of all, where does Christmas come from? Well, Christmas was not originally a Christian holiday. It came from a pagan holiday that takes place during the winter solstice when they celebrated the birthday of someone known as Mithra. Basically, during the winter that they celebrated the birth of Mithra, who is the sun god, because, well, there was no sun, so they wanted to celebrate the sun. It was the winter, and they wanted to celebrate warmth to keep happy. But, when the Catholic Church was in that area, that they were trying to convert some people, so they decided to take the holiday and make it more Catholic-like. People didn't, not all people celebrated the birthday of Jesus, but those who did celebrated it around April and May, since they didn't know exactly when he was born. But since in the story that there were shepherds laying outside, they assumed it was during the spring or summer, but conveniently that when they officially decided to make it a holiday, that the holiday was placed right on the birthday of Mithra. There's a lot of symbols which are associated with that time that have bled into modern Christmas traditions, like Christmas trees and stuff like that. And even in the story that Mithra was actually visited by 3 shepherds. It was very interesting. Anyways, there was a Catholic saint named Saint Nicholas who was associated with this holiday, and very, very good man. He was born in Turkey, and his parents died, so basically he gave his entire inheritance in order to be able to help people. And there was this man who was going to basically sell his daughters into servitude because he couldn't afford to take care of them. But he actually snuck to their house and delivered bags of money to them every single night. So since a lot of Catholic people celebrated saints, they decided, let's have Saint Nicholas be associated with this holiday. Of course, though, that since saints are a Catholic thing, when there were the non-Catholic churches that they wanted to get rid of the Saint Nicholas, but they decided to make a personification of Christmas, so they made a kind of magi person known as Father Christmas in England, whereas that in America, that there was a new character which the majority of people associate with Christmas now, known as Santa. Basically, Washington Irving read about St. Nicholas, so he drew a picture of him, and this picture became the inspiration for Santa. Santa actually wears red due to the fact he started wearing red in Coca-Cola ads. So that's right. That image of Santa, that was part of the advertising for Coca-Cola. So yeah, that's why he's red. I still celebrate Christmas because even though I don't believe in Christianity, it's still a fun holiday, and it's common in my part of the world. The Christian aspect's not bothersome enough to make me dislike it, and to me, it's merely a winter holiday. Humans often have similar holidays, some of which involve the winter. Like, people celebrated the harvest, spring, summer, but why would they celebrate winter? Winter was a cold, harsh time. Well, people wanted to have a holiday that could make them feel better. They weren't celebrating the winter, but rather the sun, which they dreamt would overcome the winter. To me, Christmas involves winter, which represents death. Obviously, winter does not mean the same thing it does now, so rather than being literal, winter for us is now a symbol. Christmas is a time that represents the human life force overcoming and surviving the winter. It's a fun holiday, but can mean more than that. It's a tradition celebrated with friends and family. It's possible to improve your relationships during this time. This time should be devoted to being more kind and understanding to others, as well as, fun stuff, buying stuff, getting new presents. I mean, hell, if someone feels like it, they could even, devote themselves to a cause, like starting a fundraiser or donating to an important charity. One more thing, I wanted to talk about all the different Santa characters that are all across the world. So, here we go. First of all, you have a character known as Grandfather Frost. He is Russian. He used to be, a character that was associated with Christmas. They probably use Santa Claus, but now he's related to New Year's. His granddaughter is is known as Snow Girl, and she helps her grandfather bring gifts. Of course, you have Father Christmas, who is very similar to Santa, and although he dresses like Saint Nick, he also dresses like the three wise men from the Bible. And the three wise men help bring him presents. He's still very similar to Santa. He uses reindeer to travel and goes down chimneys. Then you have Jolo Cookie. He comes from pagan tradition. Nowadays, he is like Santa. Pagans had traditions where they warded off evil spirits using goat skins and horns. Jolly Pucky was presented as the devil, demons, house gnomes, and monsters. Very similar to Krampus, who is another character, but I'll get into that soon. In Puerto Rico, children get gifts from the three wise men. I actually really like that. Christmas is a time that celebrates the birth of Jesus, and you get presents during that time. So it's like, who gave presents in that story? The three wise men. So the three wise men bringing presents to everyone else is kind of a clever idea. You have the Christkind, who is supposed to be Jesus as a child, who brings you presents, and was the Protestant replacement for Santa Claus. He is Jesus, and yet he can be a little angel who is also a girl. So he can be a different character, even though he's Jesus. So it's weird. Anyways, this Santa is celebrated in Germany now. Of course, though, there's Black Peter, who, in countries like Dutchland, is Santa's helper, who is a stereotypical black guy who is like a really racist character. He's like, but yeah, and they always get, like, whenever they have a character playing Black Peter, they always get a guy to dress up in blackface, and, like, so, I don't know, that's just kind of weird. But yeah, like, I mean, why can't they have him be played by a black guy? I mean, obviously you don't want a black guy playing a racist character, but, like, make Black Peter be a little bit, like, have some other trait besides being, oh, I'm a stereotypical black guy. or whatever, like, maybe have him not be played by a bunch of people wearing blackface. I don't know, he'd still be called Black Peter. I'm Black Peter, guys. Yo, I'm Black Peter. I don't know, whatever. Probably just get rid of the character. Anyways, China has very few Christians, so Christmas is not well known. But due to commercialization, it is becoming more well known. So they have their own Santa Claus known as Shendan Lao Ren, meaning Old Christmas Man. And of course you have Krampus, who is a dark, hairy, horned goat monster who beats and terrorizes children. Carries off those bad little fuckers with chains and shit. He works with Santa Claus, punishes bad children, gives presents to those who are nice. Anyways, those were some things I thought were interesting about Christmas. Christmas has a very rich history. It's a big holiday. So yeah, so I did some research on it and found a lot of interesting facts and wanted to share it with the rest of you. But anyways, peace out.